Hello everybody, it is me, Super Godzilla Final Force here, and today I am back with another video. Now, I asked Super Burning Godzilla if I did a backstory or a little explain of what happened, basically the origin story of Godzilla's Kaiju-sized adventures, and he told me that I didn't do it, so yeah, now I'm gonna do it. I'm going to be explaining the backstory of what was going on in Godzilla's Kaiju Adventures, basically before the events of the series, before the series took place. So without further ado, let's get started. So year, it began millions and millions of years ago, after the Great War between Exif Ghidorah and Godzilla Earth. After Godzilla Earth vanished Exif Ghidorah to the Dead Universe, peace was restored, but not for long, because the Ghidorahs continued to attack the Earth. And so Godzilla Earth decided to do something about it. And that was, of course, asking the first king of the monsters, which was Destructive Goji's father, to create a group of monsters known as the Earth Defenders. The Earth Defenders their main purpose was to basically defend the Earth. That was their main job, to defend the Earth from any severe threat. And of course, that severe threat were the Ghidorahs. The Ghidorahs were the big threat to the entire planet. And of course, the Ghidorahs began to make their own little team known as the Earth Invaders. The Earth Invaders and the Earth Defenders were... Sorry about that. Anyways, the Earth Defenders and Earth Invaders have been at war for a long time, until Dagon's father, Destructive Goji, was born. Destructive Goji did a much more better job on leading the Earth Defenders against the Ghidorahs. But of course, that did not mean there was another Ghidorah who was equally as powerful as Destructive Goji. And that Ghidorah was none other than Grand King Ghidorah. Grand King Ghidorah was the most powerful and the most strongest Ghidorah out of his entire army. Legend said that the battle between Destructive Goji and Grand King Ghidorah, their battle shook the entire Earth. Grand King Ghidorah and Destructive Goji were the two most powerful ones out of that entire species, and therefore their battle was legendary. there were a few times where where Grand King Ghidorah won, and a few times where Destructive Goji won, and a few times where it was a tie. And eventually, Destructive Goji met Dagon's mother, and they had Dagon. Dagon was born. Dagon was born, and he was chosen to be the new king of the monsters. And of course, Dagon was trained a lot. His father taught him a lot on how to be a king. And eventually, one day, when Dagon was a teenager, Destructive Goji was killed by Grand King Ghidorah. Dagon avenged his father's death, and with the help of his friends, they killed Grand King Ghidorah. And just like that, the world's most powerful Ghidorah was killed. And Dagon became the new king of the monsters. Dagon ruled his kingdom for millions of years. And the Earth invaders stopped attacking the Earth because without Grand King Ghidorah there to guide them, basically they were leaderless. The Ghidorahs were leaderless without Grand King Ghidorah. Dagon ruled for years and years and years. Until eventually, one day, he met and fell in love with legendary and goddess Zeus' mother, Vajiran. Vajiran met Dagon, and they fell in love. And eventually, the two got married. They got married, and they had a son and a daughter. Well, a daughter and a son. The firstborn being goddess Zilla. She was the firstborn. And eventually, about a few years later, Legendary was born. They learned a lot of being a king or a queen of the monsters. Goddess Zilla was actually really jealous of her brother because Dagon spent more time with Legendary and chose him to be the new king of the monsters. Goddess Zilla was very jealous because she was the firstborn and she expected to be chosen to be the next alpha after her father. And Because of this, she grew into she had a very deep depression. Eventually, as usual, her brother cheered her up. And eventually, Dagon started to spend time with his daughter as well, seeing how sad and alone she was. And just like that, the problems of the family were solved. And of course, besides of that, there were no other issues in the family. Dagon was happy with his wife and children. And you'd think that they all lived happily ever after. But, unfortunately, what Dagon did not realize was Grand King Ghidorah had a son of his own. And that son was none other than him, Legendary Ghidorah. Legendary Ghidorah heard about the news after he heard the news about his father being killed by Dagon. And so Legendary Ghidorah, not only that, he heard about a power source called the Founding Titan. The Founding Titan was the most powerful power source in the entire planet Earth, and Dagon was instructed to defend that power source. So that way he would not allow anyone to get their claws on it. But Legendary Ghidorah heard about the Founding Titan and wanted the power to conquer the universe. And after being trained for years, Legendary Ghidorah was finally granted to conquer Earth. But instead of leading an army of Ghidorahs, he only took 2 Ghidorahs. His brother, Mecha King Ghidorah, and his cousin, Death Ghidorah. He took them with him to conquer the Earth. But he wanted to get an army of his own. So he went around the entire planet and started searching. Well, not the entire planet. He went through the entire galaxy and started searching for more powerful monsters. He found a lot of different monsters. Gigan, Megalon, Destroya, Space Godzilla, Biollante, Legion, Gauss, Iris, all the Godzilla monsters and all of the Gamera monsters agreed, and a few Ultraman monsters. They agreed to serve King Ghidorah. And with these monsters, Legendary Ghidorah had high hopes of conquering the Earth. And so, he led his army to Earth to conquer it.